Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So as the title says, I'm going to be discussing my first trimester experience. I am almost done with my second trimester, so I'm really behind. I've been wanting to do this video for the longest of time, but because of work, I've really been slacking in terms of like recording and everything. But yeah, I just decided today I'm gonna do it. There's no excuses. So I know most people go through the same things in their first trimester, but I'm gonna give you my experience with my first trimester, as well as my advice, like my 3 top advice, especially for like new moms, especially for new mommies to be. Like, I did not know much. Like, I only went off of what people around me do tell me, and obviously everyone has a different experience with their pregnancy. So there's certain things I went through that maybe my mom or my friends didn't go through. And yeah, so I'm actually gonna start from the beginning. So I found out I was pregnant by chance. It wasn't a planned pregnancy. I was just so sick, guys. Like, when I say sick, I wasn't like physically sick in the beginning, but I just, like, my body just felt like off, and I knew something was wrong. And please guys, if you also go through this, whereby whenever you sick, the first thing a person, especially like a guy, like, they're always like, are you pregnant? It's never stress, other things. Like, you could just be genuinely sick with flu, but everyone will always think it's pregnancy first. So I was really like, I know I was taking a lot on at work as well, and I hadn't taken time out. So I thought maybe it was just my body trying to force me to actually just shut down and just take time off. And I thought I had to, like, now listen to my body. I thought it was even stress. I was going through other things as well during that time, and it wasn't. So I just took the test. I took a clear blue test, and I took it just to say I took a pregnancy test, but it wasn't like the first like thing that came in my mind that I'm pregnant. Anyway, so the reason when I took the clear blue test, as you know, clear blue is like 98% accurate when it comes to their test. So when I saw, I didn't even say I was pregnant. It didn't even say pregnant. It said pregnant 3+, meaning that I've been pregnant for the past 3 weeks. And I was just like, what? Like, I really didn't see it coming, because I had my period just the day, like just the weekend. I had my period just the month before, and I've been careful and all of that, so it's like, how? But like, these things have a way of happening. Like, really, like, I've watched so many how did I find I was pregnant kind of videos on YouTube, and it's always like similar things. Like, not everyone plans for a baby or at that time that they're gonna fall pregnant, and sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it just happens unexpectedly. So yeah, for me it was unexpectedly. And the first thing I did, obviously, after I found I was pregnant, I went to a doctor. Well, I didn't go to a doctor, I went to the nearest local clinic, which I regret, but I understand if you really don't have the funds to actually afford, like, to go and visit like a private gynae or a private doctor. My whole experience, it was just like, in a way, it was time wasted. to an extent, I felt like I could have gotten more done if I went to a gynae. And yeah, anyway, so I went to a local clinic, and they did their usual test. So every single time you go to the clinic, they have to do a urine test, which I think is mandatory. Like, even if you go like to a private doctor, you have to go and take a urine test, HIV test. My only issue was I'd get to the clinic at 8 or 9, and I somehow, some way, I leave 3 hours later. Like, guys, like, I can't. And at that time, mind you, I was already starting to experience like back pain and all of that. So sitting on those chairs waiting, and that my other issue as well with the local clinic is that they don't have sonogram. You can't do a sonogram. So you go in and they just like give you your supplements for the month, I think. Yeah, for the month. And that's it. They don't actually do like a sonogram, or you know what I mean, like, yeah. So I felt like I went there and I did the necessary tests, and I filled out a document and all of those things, which I'm not even using right now, because when I went to the gynae, I had to do like 10 different blood tests, and I never used any of the blood tests that I did at the local clinic. But like I said, if you really can't afford it, it's understandable. But maybe it's also from my own experience from my local clinic that I just didn't enjoy it, and maybe it's different like if you go to another clinic in the area, in your area. So yeah, I think the first symptom I had, which I didn't even know is a sign that you're pregnant, is I had motion sickness. So I didn't have nausea first, like straight up nausea, like a smell putting me off, or I didn't have morning sickness. I had motion sickness, and it was so bad. Like, just going to work at that time, I stayed 12 minutes away from work. It was the longest ride of my life. Like, every day I'd cringe having to get into a car and drive all the way to all the way to where I was working before. It was just like, it was a nightmare, and I just couldn't. And yeah, so I ended up going to the pharmacy because it was just too much. And I mean, yeah, like, I just couldn't anymore. And the only thing, I went to Clicks and they gave me MX syrup, which is like this other syrup that's actually for nausea or motion sickness if you're pregnant. And I didn't actually. So I did take some of it, but it didn't really like work. It just alleviated it a little bit, but I still experienced the like motion sickness, but it wasn't as bad as before. So as far as I know, when I asked them, they said that's like the only over-the-counter medication that can actually give pregnant women if they experience nausea or motion sickness. So if you do experience any of that, like, I would suggest you take it, because it's better than nothing. Honestly, it's better than nothing. So my second, I would say the other symptom that I picked up that I started having that I didn't think much of, like I said, I thought I was stressed, guys. Like, I thought I was stressed, and I just did not even like consider being pregnant. As I said, I just took a pregnancy test to like tick it off, like, I did it. Like, don't stress me about it. Like, I really thought I was stressed. I stopped having the appetite to eat things. Like, I just didn't want to eat. It's not that certain things put me off, it's just I was not hungry. I didn't want to eat. And in my first trimester, I actually lost like about 9 kgs. which is a lot. I lost 9 kilograms from not eating. Like, the only thing I actually liked in the beginning was sparkling water and water with lemon. Sometimes, like, I think later on, also, yes, before I forget, at the clinic they give you supplements, like pregnancy supplements, and that's an important thing. Like, nobody tells you this, guys. Like, I think some people think it's like an obvious, like, oh, you know you're supposed to take it, but if you're a new mom to be and you've never like really you've never been in that space of being pregnant or anything, you don't know. So the one thing that you have to do, but I think it's after you obviously visit your doctor, and if you are a high risk, obviously maybe they'd recommend something for you. But usually, like, you can just go into any pharmacy and buy a pregnancy supplement. So that supplement you take from the get-go, from the moment you know you're pregnant, it's confirmed, you go on a pregnancy supplement, guys. Like, after I started taking my supplements, I was a new person. I had more energy. Like, I could go through the day before I get to the office, and I was just like, what the hell, like, why am I here? And I took Pregnavit for my first trimester. I took Pregnavit, which really helps. I was recommended that by my family, by my friends that were pregnant. They, like, most of them have taken Pregnavit, and when I took it, I even had a bit of my appetite back, which was great. Yeah, but I stuck to plain food. Like, I had, the only things I can literally tell you, I ate 3 things in the, like, majority of my first trimester, which was rice cakes, the Woolies rice cakes, like the original ones, and just normal slap chips, hot chips, and Indomie noodles. Like, that was all I ate, you know. That was all I ate. But towards the end of my first trimester, I started craving already, and I was just craving like the weirdest things. Like, I was craving vegetable sushi, which was fine, obviously, because there's no fish in it. So I'd have that like on the daily, and grape tizer. What else? Like, I think, yeah, and a grilled chicken fold over from McDonald's. Those were like my cravings. Yeah, so I think my first trimester, I just felt like I went through, in the beginning I had like one symptom, and by the end of my first trimester I had all the symptoms. Another way for you guys also to if you are pregnant and you are in your first trimester, another way for you guys also to combat nausea is to just like get peppermint, or like any like strong minty chewing gum. It works, guys. Like, it works. It really works, you know. It worked for me so hard. Like, I think I even had it into my second trimester. Like, it was so good. I think the one thing that I didn't like and what I hated is that everyone told me, oh, you know, Michaela, it's only gonna be for it's only gonna be for 3 months. And you just like, guys, this whole week feels like this whole week feels like so long. I remember I used to get so annoyed when people were like, oh, you know, it's just gonna take a short while. Literally, it felt like forever, guys. I felt like forever, because I had so many symptoms. Like, I had nausea, I had nausea, I had motion sickness. I even ended up having my gums ended up swelling up, and I had to take this, it's called, I don't know if you can see it, it's called Andolex C. It's literally the only thing that you can use to treat like your gums if you have like gum issues. Like, I had everything except for morning sickness. I felt like every symptom I had cravings towards the end. Like, first trimester was just a lot, and I think also because I didn't anticipate all of these things. So when it all came, I was like, what's happening? I was just like, what's happening, guys? Like, no. But yeah, like my first trimester, I literally could not even say, okay, like, this is my last time to do things like actively before I start showing and I start having to do things, like I start actually, like, my abilities are more limited. I couldn't, like, I felt just like I felt sick. I felt sick for a good 3 months, and it didn't help when people told me it's only 3 months, it's gonna come and go. Like, no. It didn't. It did not come and go. I felt it every day. I know some people have great first trimesters, like they literally have like morning sickness and that's it, or they don't experience the other things much. It like happens like for a few days and then it's done. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And the day, I literally counted until I got to the week where the second trimester starts. That's how excited I was to get out of the first trimester, just because I couldn't take it anymore. Like, I couldn't. Like, I didn't even care. I didn't care about all the other things that people complain about in their second trimester. I just wanted to be in my second trimester and away from all the sickness, all the ailments that I was experiencing. It was a lot. It was really a lot. I was so excited when I reached second trimester. And the worst part of all, when I got into my second trimester, I was still experiencing a few things. Like, it doesn't just go and you enter into your second trimester. It's still a few things like I was experiencing. Like, I still had a bit of nausea here and there, so it wasn't just a thing of, okay, we done. Like, I still experienced, and I was so hacked. I was like, why? I've been waiting for these weeks to come. But my final thoughts on everything, not my final thoughts actually, my final tips for your first trimester, especially if you are a new mom to be and this is new for you. I would say, if you are really if you're really not okay, I would obviously suggest the first thing you do is you go to your doctor or you go to a pharmacy. If you're not feeling okay with anything, you go to your pharmacy. And whenever you're not feeling okay, please, like, just always give them the heads up that you are pregnant. Sometimes, like, even now, I am showing and I have to be like, oh, and I'm pregnant, because there are literally limited medication that is safe for us to use as pregnant women. Also, my 3 top things that I would say that is a must do, that should be on your to-do list when you find out that you are pregnant. You definitely need to go to your nearest local clinic, as well, or rather to a private doctor if you can, or your gynae, just to confirm your pregnancy. Also, you need to take all the necessary tests as early as possible as well. I know there's so many tests you have to do, that you have to take, like blood tests to see if there's any abnormalities with your child and that you can pick up from the get-go. Also, you have your usual routine HIV tests as well. There's so many tests that you have to do, and you have to always check up. And it's better to pick it up when you're in your first trimester than when you're in your second, third, or even when the baby's born and your options are very much limited. Also, my second advice would be to definitely from your first trimester or towards the end of your first trimester to start looking for a gynecologist. I did that and it actually helped. Like, the first gynecologist I went to was a nightmare. I had to change. I had to change her. Like, she was not nice at all. And the second gynecologist, I've been visiting him ever since, and he's a dream. I think it also helps because you can start building your relationship with your doctor. If you have like any questions, you can always approach them. You know what I mean, like, you always have that, you start having that relationship, and you don't want to get to a point where you have concerns or you have questions but you're too scared to approach your doctor. That's what you pay your doctor for, right? That's what you pay your doctor for, to have if you have any questions, not only to just check and see if your child's okay, but also if you have questions. And as a new mom, like, I'm sure, like, there's so many people that you're not sure, like, we hearing like these things that we're going through, they knew, like, this is not our first, this is not our second child or third child, this is our first. So I always say, like, try and get a doctor as soon as possible. You build a relationship with that doctor, and it's not weird. By the time you in your third trimester, it's just like, this person is actually gonna help you bring your baby into this world. So I think trying to have a good relationship with your doctor is very important. The third thing I would say as well is go on a pregnant supplement as soon as possible. As soon as you hear that you are pregnant, you don't take pregnancy supplements in your second trimester. You actually take it from the moment you find out that you're pregnant. It's so important because you're sharing your main nutrients and all of that with your child, and you also need to be strong for your baby. Like, from the moment, no matter how small your child is, you need to still eat and you need to have your energy, so yeah, take pregnancy supplements. And then I think the fourth and the last tip I would say as well is I remember I looked up on the internet and I was just like looking through like the different symptoms that people go through, and it's usually the same. Like, we all go through similar symptoms. Some may go through more, some may go through less, but I know there was a recommendation you get a pregnancy journal. I wouldn't say get a pregnancy journal yet. I'm one of those people that I want to wait until that danger time, which is basically your first trimester, has passed, and then I get a pregnancy journal, which I did. I would actually rather say get yourself an app, a pregnancy app, or get yourself a book. I'm reading a book, like a hard copy book. It's called, book that I'm reading is What to Expect When You're Expecting. I got this from Take a Lot. I forgot how much I bought it for, but it wasn't like that pricey, because it literally explains everything from the moment like you are pregnant. Like, they have different chapters. I know they have like different editions. I feel like it's the same thing though. So and literally there's like so many things. It's like, are you pregnant, your pregnancy profile, your pregnancy lifestyle, 9 months of eating well. They explain literally everything that happens from your first month to your last month of your pregnancy. Like, and it's so detailed. Like, they tell you what exercises are good for you if you still want to exercise. They even go into labor and delivery, postpartum, the first 6 weeks, which is like really great. And yeah, like they even explain pregnancy loss. Yeah, so I feel like if I think this is a really good book if we want to gain more knowledge. But if like you just want to follow up and track the progress of your pregnancy, I would suggest you get a pregnancy app that will also update you on the growth of your baby, as well as on you as a person, like what as a mom, what you should be eating, like recommendations on how you should be living a healthy lifestyle for you and your baby. So those would be my 4 top tips as in your first trimester, because I just feel like also the last one, the 5th and most important tip is always ask advice from your friends, family, like, you know, people that are close to you, people who have had kids before. I feel like they always give the best advice because they've been there, they've done that, you know. Like we all know at least 1 or 2 people or more even who have been pregnant, and I feel like they always, like, they know what they're talking about. They have kids, you know. And also sometimes like it's good to get different like advice, but also remember that we all have different pregnancy experiences, as I said. So sometimes, like, I was advised, for example, to take the Endolex from a friend of mine. I didn't know what to take. My mom hadn't gone through what I was going through, everything I was going through. So it's always good to like take advice from your friends and family. I feel like they know what's best as well. But anyway, thanks guys for watching this video, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'm going to do other videos other than mom videos. I just think that it's part of my life, and I really want my content to be me. I'm not trying to exclude certain things, like I am pregnant, and the content will be probably also be about being a single mom to be, being a person who's also young, young and also like my other interests as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like me to do any other mom related or mommy to be related videos, please do comment down below as well. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.